When a woman feels deeply connected to a man, every small action he takes can feel magnified. His energy, his silence, his tone, his presence or absence can influence her emotions far more than she wants to admit. And in that emotional space, it becomes easy to start overthinking, overgiving, or overstretching. But here's the truth. Most people never say out loud, the real power in love doesn't come from how much you feel. It comes from how you respond to those feelings. This entire message is built around one profound idea. When you respond correctly, you win either way. Why? Because in love, you cannot control someone else's behavior, maturity, readiness, or effort. But what you can control is your reaction to it. A powerful woman, a grounded woman, a woman who knows her worth doesn't chase clarity. She creates it. She doesn't cling to a man's inconsistent behavior. She evaluates it. She doesn't panic when he becomes distant. She observes before she reacts. And she doesn't beg for love. She matches the energy she receives. Responding correctly is not about playing games. It's about emotional leadership. It's about protecting your heart while still remaining open to real love. It's about knowing that you don't lose anything by walking away from what doesn't choose you. You either get the man who rises to meet your value, or you get the freedom to attract someone far better. This introduction sets the tone for a message that will shift how you think, how you love, and how you show up from a place of confidence, clarity, and undeniable strength. Don't chase, just change your energy. Let me tell you something real, something Steve Harvey himself would say if he were standing right in front of you. A woman's power isn't in the chase, it's in her energy. A man pulling away is not a signal for you to run behind him. Call him 10 times, explain yourself, or prove your worth. No, your first move, your strongest move, is to shift your energy, not your effort. When a man pulls away, most women panic. They start thinking, what did I do wrong? Why is he acting like this? How do I fix this? But you got to understand this. You don't fix distance by chasing it. You fix distance by becoming a version of yourself that doesn't need to chase anybody. See, a man can feel your energy before you even show up. He can feel it in the way you talk, the way you respond, the way you hold yourself. When your energy is anxious, needy, scared, over-explaining, trying to keep him, he feels that. And guess what? It makes him pull away even more. Men run from pressure, but they respond to presence. But when your energy is calm, confident, and grounded, when you move like someone who knows her worth is not based on his attention, he feels that too. And that is when something shifts. He starts wondering why you're not reacting the way he expected. He thought you'd panic. He thought you'd chase. He thought you'd shrink. But instead, you stood tall, breathed deep, and kept your peace. That's the moment a man realizes this woman ain't like the rest. Changing your energy means you choose peace over panic. You choose value over validation. You choose confidence over confusion. You stop giving explanations no one asked for. You stop sending paragraphs he's not reading. You stop showing him he's the center of your world when he's acting like he doesn't even see you. You redirect your attention back to your life, your goals, your routines, your people, your growth. You let him feel what life is like when your energy isn't wrapped around him. That silence, that shift, that's not punishment. That's clarity. Because let me tell you something. Men don't wake up when you chase them. They wake up when they feel your absence. They wake up when they realize that your energy was a blessing. Something warm, something supportive, something easy. And now it's not on tap anymore. Your energy should not be a discount item, always available, always accessible. It should be something a man feels grateful to receive, something he respects, something he doesn't want to lose. And when you change your energy from chasing him to choosing you, that's when you activate that shift inside him. So don't chase him. Don't explain yourself to him. Don't try to pull him closer. Just change your energy. Walk like a woman who is not shaken by someone else's inconsistency. Talk like someone who knows her worth, doesn't drop just because somebody couldn't handle her shine. Move like someone who understands that distance is not your enemy, it's your message. It's the universe telling you, stay centered, stay grounded, stay in your power. And when you do, when he sees you calm, glowing, unbothered, living, that's when he feels it. That's when he starts thinking. That's when he starts coming back. Because your energy, not your effort, is what makes a man realize what he's about to lose. Your response must be peaceful, not panicked. When a man pulls away, most women respond from the exact place that pushes him even farther, panic. They feel that sudden shift, that change in tone, those fewer texts, those slower replies, and instantly the heart drops into fight or flight mode. You start questioning yourself, doubting yourself, wondering what you did wrong. And panic makes you act out of fear, not wisdom. But let me tell you something Steve Harvey would preach loud and clear. A peaceful woman is more powerful than a panicked one. A peaceful woman knows she doesn't have to chase clarity. Clarity comes to her. A peaceful woman doesn't beg for attention. Attention gravitates toward her. A peaceful woman doesn't force conversations. She creates space for truth to show up. Panicked energy is loud. Peaceful energy is strong. And a man can feel the difference immediately. When you respond with panic, texting fast, calling repeatedly, sending long messages, trying to figure out what's wrong, you don't come across as caring. You come across as scared. And scared energy never pulls a man closer. It tells him he has more control than he actually deserves. It tells him you are emotionally dependent on his actions. It tells him your world revolves around him, not you. But when you respond with peace, you send a completely different message without saying a single word. Peace says, I'm good. I'm centered. I'm not falling apart because you shifted and that energy is magnetic. Peace does not mean silence out of revenge. Peace does not mean pretending you don't care. Peace means staying calm because you know your value doesn't change based on someone else's behavior. A peaceful response looks like this. You slow down instead of speeding up. You breathe instead of reacting. You reply with grace instead of desperation. You protect your heart instead of overexposing it. You give space instead of crowding him with questions. Because the truth is, men test your emotional grounding without even realizing it. When he pulls away, he's indirectly asking, can she stay steady even when I'm inconsistent? Can she hold her peace instead of losing herself? Can she handle distance without breaking? Your panic tells him no. Your peace tells him yes. And men gravitate toward emotional stability like a magnet. When you remain peaceful, he starts questioning himself, not you. He starts noticing the silence he created. He starts thinking about what caused the shift. Most importantly, he begins to realize that your emotional maturity is something rare, something he doesn't want slipping away. Peace is confidence in motion, and confidence draws men near. Peace shows him you are not dependent on him for validation. Peace shows him you can stand alone if needed. Peace shows him that if he doesn't show up right, someone else eventually will. Because here's the real truth. A peaceful woman is unforgettable. She's not chaotic. She's not reactive. She's not emotionally unstable. She is grounded, soft, steady, centered. And men, even the strongest ones, crave that kind of energy more than anything. So when he pulls away, your job is not to react quickly, it's to respond wisely. Not with fear, but with calm. Not with panic, but with power. Not with insecurity, but with certainty. Your peace is your protection. Your peace is your strength. Your peace is your leverage. And when you choose peace over panic, one of two things will happen. Either he will return with more clarity or he will fade, revealing he was never meant to stand beside a woman of your strength. Both outcomes serve you. Both outcomes protect you. Both outcomes elevate you. So stay peaceful, because peace is the response that changes everything. Matching effort is the only language men respect. Let me tell you something about men that Steve Harvey has said time and time again. Men respect what you mirror back to them. Not what you overgive, not what you beg for, not what you explain 100 times, but what you match. Matching effort is not about pettiness, ego, or playing games. It's about emotional intelligence. It's about moving with balance instead of desperation. It's about showing a man that you operate from a place of self-respect, not fear. When a man starts pulling away, many women do the opposite. They start giving more. They start texting more, checking in more, trying harder, being nicer, being more available, more understanding, more forgiving, more patient, until they are completely drained. But here's the truth. Overgiving doesn't pull a man closer. It teaches him he can give you less. When you give 100% while he's giving 30%, you think you're showing love. But to him, you're showing he doesn't have to try. You're showing him he can put in minimal effort and still receive maximum benefits. You're showing him your love requires no work. And a man will always settle at the lowest level of effort you allow. Matching effort is how you reset the dynamic. If he slows down, you slow down calmly, respectfully, confidently. If he becomes inconsistent, you stop being overly consistent. If he puts in less time, you stop rearranging your schedule to accommodate his matching effort. Doesn't mean you're punishing him. It means you're protecting your dignity. It means you refuse to do the emotional labor for both of you. It means you let him feel the gap that he created. Men don't learn through lectures. They learn through experience. They don't respond to emotional persuasion. They respond to emotional consequence. When you match effort, you're communicating clearly without saying a word. I move with you, not ahead of you. I'm willing to meet you where you are, not drag you where I want you to be. If you want more of me, you need to show more of you. And here's the part most women don't realize. Matching effort is not cold. It's classy. It's not distant. It's dignified. It's not manipulative. It's mature. You're not withholding. You're not playing games. You're simply refusing to invest where he is not investing. When he feels your shift, when he notices that your energy now mirrors his inconsistency, that's when reflection begins. He starts thinking, why isn't she chasing me? Why isn't she fighting for this? Why did her energy change? And that's when he starts adjusting his behavior. Men rise to the level of effort that benefits them, but they rise even higher to the level of effort that is required from them. Matching effort creates that requirement. It tells him, if you want a high-value woman, you must show up like a high-value man. Matching effort also protects your heart. It keeps you from giving more than a man deserves. It keeps you from draining yourself emotionally. It keeps you from confusing potential with reality, because a relationship is not built on one person trying hard. It's built on two people contributing equally. And if he can't meet you halfway, the distance between you is not yours to close. So remember, matching effort is not about losing him. It's about not losing yourself. A man may not understand your words, but he always understands your actions. And when your effort reflects his effort, you give him the clearest message possible, a message men respect every single time. Match what he gives, mirror what he shows, move with the rhythm he sets. Because matching effort is the language a man not only hears, it's the language he obeys. Boundaries are the difference between being valued and being used. Let me tell you something straight. Something Steve Harvey would say without sugarcoating. A single word. A woman without boundaries becomes a woman without value in a man's eyes. Not because she isn't valuable, but because she never required him to treat her that way. Boundaries are not walls. They're not ultimatums. They're not punishments. Boundaries are simply the standards that tell a man, this is how you get access to me, and this is how you lose it. See, most women get hurt not because they love too much, but because they allowed too much. They tolerated inconsistency. They accepted mixed signals. They ignored red flags. They gave chance after chance. And slowly, without even noticing, they trained a man to believe their heart required no protection. A man will only treat you at the level you demand, never lower, never higher. And your boundaries are the demand. A boundary says, you don't get to pull me closer only when it's convenient for you. You don't get to disappear and reappear like I'm a backup plan. You don't get access to my heart when your effort doesn't match it. Without boundaries, a man learns he can take and take and take, and you'll still be there. Not because you're weak, but because you're loyal. Not because you're desperate, but because you're hopeful. But hope without boundaries becomes self-abandonment. And nothing pushes a man away faster than a woman who abandons herself to keep him. Boundaries don't scare the right man. They shape him. They give him something to respect. They give him something to rise to. They give him something to fight for. The wrong man sees your boundaries as pressure. The right man sees them as direction. When you say, I'm not entertaining disrespect, a real man adjusts. When you say consistency is the bare minimum, he steps up. When you say communication matters to me, he listens. When you say, I'm not doing a situationship, he either commits or moves. A man who values you will always choose to honor your boundaries. A man who was using you will run from them. But that's the point. Boundaries protect you from the wrong man, so you have space for the right one. And here's the part many women struggle with. A boundary is only real when you enforce it. You can't say, I won't tolerate disrespect, then stay when he disrespects you. You can't say, I deserve consistency, then accept inconsistency because you're afraid to lose him. You can't say, if he pulls away, I won't chase, then immediately chase when he pulls back. Your actions must align with your worth. Boundaries are not about controlling him. They're about controlling your access to yourself. They protect your time, your heart, your energy, your peace. And when a man realizes you are a woman with standards, real standards, not empty words, he immediately treats you differently. He becomes intentional. He becomes aware. He becomes more careful with your heart. But here's the deeper truth. Boundaries don't only teach a man how to treat you. They teach you how to treat yourself. They remind you that your worth is not negotiable. They remind you that your peace comes before his presence. They remind you that you belong to yourself first. And when you hold your boundaries firmly, without fear, without anger, without apology, you transform from a woman who hopes to be valued into a woman who expects to be valued. Because at the end of the day, boundaries are the difference between being cherished and being used, between being chosen and being convenient, between being respected and being taken for granted. A man will rise to your boundaries or be removed by them. Either way, you win. Your response becomes the test he didn't know he was taking. Here's what most women don't realize, and what Steve Harvey preaches from the heart. A man's reaction to your shift isn't random. It's a test, not a test you purposely set up, not a mind game, not manipulation, but a test of his character, his maturity, his intentions. And the powerful part is this: he doesn't even know he's taking it. The moment you stop chasing him, the moment you stop over-explaining, the moment you stop begging for the bare minimum, the moment you stop carrying the whole relationship on your back, that's when the test begins. Because when you shift your energy from fear to peace, from overgiving to matching effort, from tolerating to setting boundaries, a man is confronted with the truth of who he is, not who he pretended to be, not who he was in the beginning, not who you hoped he would become, but who he really is when he no longer has the luxury of your unconditional effort. Your response, Your calm, grounded, confident response exposes everything. If he's a real man, if he truly sees your worth, if he genuinely cares, if he's emotionally mature, if he has intentions to build, he's going to step up without you saying a word. He'll text you more. He'll call you faster. He'll notice the shift and want to fix it. He'll apologize without being pushed. He'll explain himself because your silence made him reflect. He'll bring consistency because he doesn't want distance. He'll try not because you begged him, but because he realizes your presence is a blessing he doesn't want to lose. That's what a real man does when he feels the shift. He doesn't get defensive. He doesn't get cold. He doesn't get lazy. He gets active. But if he's not that man, if he never valued you, if he was using you for convenience, if he liked the benefits but never intended to build, if he enjoyed the attention but not the responsibility, your shift exposes him too. He stops trying. He fades. He disappears. He avoids the conversation. He gets quiet instead of accountable. He keeps ignoring you because your boundaries removed his comfort zone. And here's the beauty of that outcome. His exit is not rejection. It is direction. It's God, the universe, life, removing someone who was blocking your blessing. It's protection disguised as silence. It's the closing of a chapter that was draining you. It's the truth revealing itself so you don't waste years on someone who gives you crumbs. Your response, your calm, grounded, dignified response, is the filter that separates a man who is serious from a man who was only taking up space. Both outcomes serve you. Both outcomes elevate you. Both outcomes protect your heart. When you respond with strength, not fear, when you choose peace over panic, when you match effort instead of overextending, when you enforce boundaries with grace, you naturally attract a man who sees your worth, or you naturally lose a man who never did. Either way, your life improves because the right man will always rise to meet your energy, and the wrong man will always fall away when you stop lowering yourself. When you respond correctly, you win either way. Let me tell you something Steve Harvey would say with his whole chest. When you respond the right way, there is no losing. You win no matter how the man reacts. You win because you chose yourself. You win because you operated from strength instead of fear. You win because you stayed in control of your emotions instead of letting someone else dictate your worth. Most women get stuck because they think the only win is getting the man back. They think if he comes running, apologizing, fixing things, stepping up, that means they succeeded. But the real win is much deeper than that. The real win is that you didn't betray yourself trying to hold on to someone who wasn't ready to hold you. When you respond correctly with peace, boundaries, emotional maturity, and self-respect, one of two things happens, and both of them elevate your life. Outcome one, a good man, a grown man, realizes your shift is a message. He feels the loss before he actually loses you. Your calm becomes his wake-up call. Your distance becomes his clarity. Your boundaries become his motivation. He steps up because he doesn't want to risk losing a woman of your value. He starts operating differently because he sees you're not asking for attention. You're requiring effort. And when that kind of man returns, he doesn't return the same. He comes back more intentional, more engaged, more consistent, more emotionally present. In that case, you win because he grows. Outcome two, a man who was never serious, never committed, never truly invested, simply fades. He pulls away completely because your boundaries destroyed his comfort zone. You refusing to chase him took away his power. Your peace exposed his immaturity. Your silence revealed the truth he was hiding behind inconsistency. He disappears because he never planned on being the man you deserve. And when that man leaves, you win because he's gone. It might hurt at first, but later you will thank yourself deeply for not fighting to keep someone who would have ruined your peace. You win because you didn't waste years waiting for potential that was never going to turn into reality. You win because God removed someone who would have blocked the real blessing from entering your life. That's the power of responding correctly. You remove the guesswork. You eliminate the confusion. You expose the truth. You protect your heart. It's never about begging a man to act right. It's about giving him the space to show who he really is. If he steps up, great. If he steps out, even better, because you're not losing anything. You're learning everything. You're learning your strength. You're learning your worth. You're learning how powerful your peace is. You're learning that your love is not something every man deserves access to. You're learning that the right man will meet you where you are, not make you chase where he is. This is why responding correctly is a win every single time. It keeps you aligned with the woman you're becoming, not the woman who settled. It keeps your heart guarded but not hardened. It keeps your dignity intact. It keeps your standards clear. It keeps your self-respect untouched. And the best part, when you respond the right way, your life gets better regardless of his next move. You either get the man who is willing to grow with you, or you make room for the man who was always meant to arrive. So stand firm, stay peaceful, hold your boundaries, protect your heart, because when you respond from strength instead of fear, you win every single time. The powerful truth about your response. Let me close this with something Steve Harvey would look you dead in the eyes and say, a man pulling away doesn't decide your future. Your response does. The moment you stop panicking, stop overgiving, stop chasing, and stop trying to fix everything by yourself, you shift the entire dynamic. Not because you're playing games, but because you're standing in your worth. See, life will always send you moments where someone's behavior forces you to make a choice. Do I abandon myself trying to keep them? Or do I choose myself even if it means losing them? And every time you choose yourself, you win. A man's distance is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your clarity. It's the moment you get to see who's meant to stay and who is only meant to pass through. It's the moment you get to walk in your strength instead of your fear. It's the moment you realize that your peace is too expensive for someone who handles it carelessly. When you respond with calm instead of chaos, with boundaries instead of begging, with confidence instead of confusion, you give a man the chance to show who he is without your effort masking his flaws. If he's real, he'll rise to meet you. If he's not, he'll fall away on his own. Either way, your life moves forward, because the woman who refuses to chase is the woman a man never forgets. The woman who protects her peace is the woman a man respects. And the woman who knows her worth is the woman who attracts the love she deserves. So walk with your head high, stand in your value, respond with grace, strength, and certainty. Because when you move like a queen, only a king can approach you, and anyone else will naturally remove himself.